year in the jungle shooting this film. Martin Sheen had a heart attack, and they Willard was originally supposed to be Harvey. Well, I think they shot with Harvey Keitel as Willard, and then they replaced him with Sheen, and then Sheen had a heart attack, and Brando wasn't going to show up, and when he did, he was 80 pounds overweight, which is why they had to keep him in shadows. Got Dennis Hopper, who I should have mentioned Dennis Hopper, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. Harrison Ford, one of his first films.
Harrison Ford, yep. Timothy Bottoms and Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
I mean, when I got to work with Lawrence Fishburne on CSI, I mean, that was amazing. I mean, it's one of the things for me as an actor, being a kid from Ohio who by all rights should be selling toilets back in Canton somewhere, to be able to work with people who I admire so much is like, I mean, I'm a total fangirl when it comes to that stuff. So
that's a good
it's
way
pretty
to be. Cool. When you're in the industry, that's quite a good thing to be, because it's the passion, isn't it? There, you've got a passion. It means you're doing what you love, which then echoes when you're on, being on the screen for people to watch. That passion really does come through, because I mean, if you're bored doing a job, then that's going to be reflected in the work that you give. So to have a passion in your kind of, that experience, and like you say, working with people like that you're in the same boat with them as I am, kind of, talking to you. It's great to have.
It lets you know that you're kind of on the path. You're where you're supposed to be and doing what you love. So, and that's rare. I remember when I was in college, my dad had picked me up or something. We were in the car, and I was watching all these people going to their jobs, driving, and I was just like, I'm never gonna do that. And my dad's like, you're never gonna do what? You're never gonna what? Have a job, Eddie? What are you gonna do? You're gonna lay around all your life? And I just was like, I just don't. I want to do something that like that I love, and not something that I have to do because I have to pay a bill. You know, and the fact that I've been able to achieve that so far in my life is I just consider myself so lucky and blessed, which is like the fact that you contacted me on Twitter and wanted to do this. Like, I was like, I mean, I want to be able to, help people and give back and do something that's, I just want to, I don't know, give back or whatever. I don't want to sound too, it's not like I'm freaking, Jack Nicholson. Here, let me help you out, kid.
Yeah.
But I hope you understand.
I do, yeah. I do. It's good. And it's like you say, it's something that you want to do rather than just, going out to pay a bill. I mentioned to you before, I just started. I had a role 2 months ago now. It was an extras role. I had about 15 to 20 lines. So it's just, I got a speaking role, my first ever role on camera.
Wow. It
was a very...
Yeah, that doesn't sound like an extra.
Featured extra, it was classed as. But yeah, that gave me a good insight into the long days that you guys have to go through, because I think for about 2 hours worth of filming, I got there at 10 a.m. and I finished at 10 p.m. And I don't even think it was 2 hours, actually. It was probably about an hour in total. And half an hour of that was spent on a concrete floor with my hands tied behind my back and having cold iced water poured over my balls.
Nice.
Yeah. The character
always an upside.
It was, yeah. The character was
that's why I never understand when you hear actors, it's really hard. We were there for 14 hours. It's like, okay, you're not digging a ditch or working at a foundry or, down in a coal mine. I mean, it's pretty easy. You have people bringing you food and, I never understand. That's why I never try and bitch about my job. I mean, I've done things where, it's been long and difficult, but nothing compared to like what a lot of people have to do for their to maintain their lifestyle.
Yeah, no, appreciate that as well. It is good, but yeah, you're right. But again, the hours do take it out of you, so I will give it that, because it is a tiring day. But like you say, you're not down a coal mine, so it could be worse.
The toughest part for me was for Warehouse 13. We shot in Toronto, and my family was here.
Right.
I mean, if anything was hard, that was the hardest part.
Yeah, separation.
But we lived on Skype. Like we would just turn Skype on and just leave it on. So whenever I was home, my wife and I wouldn't even necessarily be talking. She would turn it on and set it in the house so that I could hear what was going on in the house.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I'd be like, "Jack, get down off the counter," and he'd be like,
"Yeah, where does that come from?"
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, there's Dad."
So. No, I mean, I feel for you there as well, because I had a job last year. It's actually the year I did my wrestling injury up in Blackpool, but it's not as far as Vancouver is from where you are. But it was still I think it's about a 3-hour drive each way, so I had to stay in a hotel Monday to Friday, and I'd only see my family. So we lived on Skype during the weeks.
You have kids?
I do. I've got a little 9-year-old boy.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Ethan.
Right on, man. Congrats.
Ethan. Yeah.
Are you guys going to go again, or are you?
No.
You're done.
One was enough.
Gotcha. The window of opportunity is closed up. It's closed up for us too.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he's a lovely little boy, very polite. I'm quite happy with the way he's raised. Does me proud every day.
Good work, man. Yeah, I bet you'll be a good dad.
No, thank you. I hope so. That's what I tried to be.
Yeah.
Try to pass that on. That's the best you can. That's all you can do, isn't it? Just try and be the best you can for the other people and for your family.
Yeah, no one gives you a blueprint, right? It's just like, well,
yeah, exactly.
Do the best you can, hope for the best, and hope you don't end up with a serial killer.
Yeah, that's quite true. You could end up with Jack Payne as your kid.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to move on to some questions regarding some of the shows that you've done, which
okay.
Not all of them, because you've been in a hell of a lot, to be fair to you. You've had a nice illustrious career, and long may it continue. Thanks. But,
I'm the most successful anonymous guy in town.
It's a true fact, isn't it? I mean, because people recognise your face from everything because you've been in so many things. Right. That you've been able to get yourself across, and I think it's brilliant now that these roles are coming more and more to you. And obviously with Warehouse 13, I think has really changed that for one, becoming a household name definitely. On that one. Definitely, it was.
Well, people come up to me now and they're like, "Did we go to school together? Do I know? Do you know so and so?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Why do I know you? Is it?" And I'm like, "It's a weird situation that middle ground, because you don't want to go, because this has happened to me before. I'll go Warehouse 13, and they'll be like, "What? No, what's that?" And I'll be like, "Oh no, nothing. No, I don't know. I don't know where you know me from." So, and then once people kind of know what I do and what I've done, then all of a sudden, as they're watching TV, then once they know me, they'll be like, "Oh, I just saw. Oh, okay." And there you are on, like all these old reruns of shows that I've had bad hair in. I get a lot of flack for my hair.
I don't know why, Although, to be fair, when you played Sully and Bones back in season 2, it was quite buffon, right? And it was floppy. Yeah, what the hell went on there?
I mean, to this day, I still get people that go, "You were so great on Bones. What was going on with your hair?" And I'm just like, you know what? Why don't you send me some pictures of your hair? Yeah, and I'm going to go online and I'm going to talk about your hair. I had long hair and they wanted to cut it, and I let the people at Bones cut my hair, and that's what came out of it. And I vowed never to let anyone on set cut my hair. anymore. So now I do all my own hairstyling.
Oh, fabulous.
Yes. I get the dippity-doo and the hair dryer and all the wonderfulness.
Lovely. You should have rollers as well,
Sure.
Complete the look.
You got to.
Yeah. So talking about Bones, obviously you initially played Sully back in season 2, which was Brennan's love interest while Booth was out their picture.
Right.
Did you ever think, obviously I know you've just recently gone back on, did you ever think you'd go back on the show again when you were back there?
Every time I'd see Hart Hansen, who was, the creator, I'd be like, Hart, I'm out of work, buddy.
Yeah.
Bring me back. And he always kind of threatened to. And apparently he told me that some of the writers had talked about, having Bones find Sully's body,
right.
or having him bring him. But he was like, I wouldn't let them kill Sully.
Yeah.
And I'm glad for that. I got to go back and see Emily, and I hadn't seen her since. So a lot had changed since then, and she has kids now, and it's just great. She's such a lovely lady, and it was nice to be able to congratulate her on 12 seasons and to be able to go back, and it was really a nice honor that they would dig me up after 10 seasons to bring me back. So
that's brilliant. I mean, that was another question. What was it like working with David and Emily, and obviously everybody else as well? Because it's just, again, it's another cast that seems, after 12 seasons, it must be pretty tight-knit and a nice family atmosphere.
It was great. No weirdness at all. I mean, a lot of times after 12 years, people change and they become, especially in this business, the money and the fame can zap your brain. But she's gold, and David's great, and they're all really just good, normal people. It hasn't really affected them too much.
Excellent.
I, on the other hand, have become a complete asshole.
Total diva.
The fame, So,
well, you are. I mean, you sat there in your sparkling gown, and you've got, as I say, you've got your hair all up in your rollers, and
yes, get me my tea.
You've got your little bell there to get your tea as well, with all the servants around you.
Exactly. My bell and my shotgun.
Yeah.
You gotta show strength, Chris.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Don't show the weakness all the time.
No.
Excellent. I mean, so Warehouse 13, we'll move on to that one now, which is obviously, that's where I truly sort of became known to yourself as an actor in that respect, and it was one of the shows I absolutely adored, and I was devastated when it finished. But Pete Latimer, it was just an amazing show. Now, I've got this from geekdad.com. I believe you did an interview a few years back with them, and I just took it because I thought their description was brilliant, so that's why I've referenced it. Pete Latimer is somewhere between your goofy but protective older brother, and a playful hound who wants to chase his tail. I think that's pretty perfect.
Yeah. It's funny. I always kind of likened him to the puppy dog, and it's similar because my two boys, I always say my younger son is the cat, and he's like Lynn, my wife. Max is you'll walk by and he'll reach out from under the thing and just swipe your ankle, and you'll be like, whoa. Whereas my son Jack is more like me, and he's the puppy dog that runs up and licks your face. And Pete. Yeah, that's a great description. I mean, what a wonderful opportunity for me to play a character who was noble and loyal and protective, but at the same time he hadn't lost that
innocence,
childlike innocence that the Peter Pan. He was Peter Pan,
definitely.
And it was. I miss it. I miss being able to see all my friends and my Warehouse 13 family, but again, that's the business. That's just the way it is. So.
Yeah, it is sad. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of me in Pete Latimer.
Mm-hmm.
So again,